Hi, I'm Lana, and we're back at the Source Interlink Media Garage. As you know by now, they publish some of the auto industry's most noteworthy magazines. And we're here to show you how Pioneer makes it simple, a 4-part series created to shed some light on the basics of car audio. And this video will clear up some of the common misconceptions and concerns regarding the installation process. We sat down with one of our favorite and skilled installers, Ozzy Lopez, to shed some light on frequently asked installation questions that you should know before buying. So Ozzy, will the installation process tear up my dash and make it look not factory?
No, a good installer is just like a good mechanic. You'll want to find someone who you can trust, who does good work and is highly recommended. They'll basically do all the work under the hood and return the car in better condition than when you dropped it off.
What's the average cost of installation?
Well, it really depends on the number of components you're installing and your vehicle. Since there's little standardization between different cars, some installations are very straightforward, while others can be very complex. Regardless, a good installer should be able to give you an estimation on how much your specific installation will cost before you make your purchase decision. Each retailer uses different pricing scales, but for most cars, a basic new radio install will probably be around $100 for installation, parts, and labor. Give or take a few dollars here.
What about parts and accessories? Am I going to need additional stuff?
There can be a few. As I mentioned before, few car manufacturers use standardized shapes, sizes, or wiring connections in their vehicles. Fortunately, car audio manufacturers like Pioneer do make standardized sizes of radios and speakers, and there are several accessory companies that make the various adapters that allow the installer to effectively fit a square peg in a round hole. Typical accessories for most installations will consist of a dash kit, which helps secure the radio into the dash and provides an integrated cosmetic look, and a wire harness, which allows the installer to hook up the radio without cutting any factory wires. This also helps to ensure that you can easily put the original radio back in your car if you decide to sell it or trade it in. A qualified installer will usually have these parts in stock, but depending on how uncommon your vehicle is, it's safer to assume that some parts might need to be ordered for your specific vehicle.
How much time am I looking to spend getting my equipment installed?
Well, this really varies by car, product, and installer. Changing out the radio can take an average of an hour, and adding other components like speakers and amplifiers may take a bit longer. But don't forget, faster does not always mean it's better. A good installer will always prefer to get it done right instead of rushing to get it done quickly.
I'm trying to save on gas, so I have a compact car. Am I going to lose a lot of space?
Not necessarily. Of course, there are still some enthusiasts such as myself who will sacrifice the whole trunk of their car for their stereo system. But the days of having to trade space for good sound, those are gone. Although the addition of a subwoofer system will typically still require a speaker box or enclosure be placed in the trunk or hatch, technology advances in amplifiers and speakers have reduced the amount of space needed to achieve high-end sound quality. For example, Pioneer actually patented a technology that makes it possible for a shallow subwoofer that creates strong, deep bass in a very small enclosure. And that enclosure can fit under or behind many of the seats in small cars, trucks, and SUVs. The bottom line is that you shouldn't be overwhelmed or intimidated by walking into a car audio shop in your local neighborhood. These are specialists, and for the most part, they're experts at what they do. Although we now live in a do-it-yourself society, we strongly recommend relying on an installation specialist for help, advice, or complete installation services. Installs that require extensive interfacing with electrical wiring and cosmetic modification should always be performed by an experienced professional.
Ozzy, thank you so much for all of the great information. I'll see you next time.
No problem.
And remember, you don't have to do it all at once. Even changing out the source unit, you should be able to hear a significant difference and add functions and features. You can always add components step by step until you get the sound you want and that impresses all your friends. So stay tuned for the last installment of Make It Simple as we discuss where to buy.